What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's Marcus. I got Pastor Jerry with me. We got a little bonus footage. We're doing some Q&A. And so we're taking some questions that we got from social media and we're addressing them here in this little time frame. So without further ado, let's see what the next question is. Yeah, let's see what the next question is. We are going to, okay, this one's a little provocative. You ready for this one?
Okay.
Is the black church necessary?
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. There would be no black church if the white church invited them in. Come on, man. Let's start with history. Why do we even have a black church? Right? Because it was illegal. They were not allowed to worship with the white church. Without the black church, we wouldn't see some of the community efforts that we have. Without the black church, we wouldn't have a voice to speak on behalf of the disenfranchised. You know, the black church is necessary because it is the local expression of the neighborhoods that are redlined and gentrified, right? Yes, we need the black church. I think, man, and I said this, man, black people have made a mad exodus from the black church because they used to say things, oh man, the preaching isn't good, or oh man, they're not discipling me over here. And it's not just the black church, the Latino church, the Asian church. And what you failed to realize when you ran to the white church, you ran into more problems.
Yeah.
All right, so yes, the black church is necessary. The black church wouldn't even be existent if the church at large didn't confine itself to race, but saw all brothers and sisters as believers because of their profession of faith. Isn't that what Acts 2 is all about? Somewhere along the line, we forgot Acts 2 and looked at the church of people from every different tongue and language and tribe. We didn't have that no more. So through the civil rights, through slavery, through Jim Crow, even now, the black church is necessary because it's the only place that you don't have to think about your blackness and you can stand on the word of God, how he has designed you. So yes, the black church is necessary.
Ooh, that's good. This one is so loaded.
Yeah, I know.
It's such a loaded one because you have some people that will say like, oh, well, now we're supposed to all be, one, which I get it. Yes, we do want to see churches come together. Yes, I believe a lot of churches should come together. But however, just to be able to say like, when we talk about the black church, I was talking to a friend of mine, Matt Shaw, man, dope brother. And we talked about this a little bit. He said, when talking about the black church, we need to define because we have black by population, by just purely demographic, and we have black as in like black culture and black traditions of holding these things. And so both I feel are necessary. However, if you have the black church, you also have to look at, for any multi-ethnic church or any ethnic church, what is the demographics of your community?
Right.
Like if your community is 95% black, then that's what your church should look like, 95% black. Because the church is the expression of the community that it's surrounded by, and because the church is supposed to represent the people.
Yeah.
The people. Not a political agenda, but the people.
That's good.
And so if that is the demographics, and then so therefore if you live in a white community and it's 95% white, then don't expect a 95% black population. It's just some things that shouldn't happen. And so when we look at this, we have to be able to, because of history, really appreciate. And he said something that was really key. He brought up the point. He said a lot of people, just to your point, a lot of people have left the black church because they felt that it lacked theology. And he said, well, Marcus, answer this question to me. When did black theologians really have a time frame, especially within our grandparents? When did they really have a peaceful time where they can really comb through theology?
Yeah.
Because for at least 30 to 40 years, the only thing they were doing was fighting literally for their human rights, civil rights, Jim Crow, slavery. Like, look at the history of America. When did they really have a chance to sit down, like predominantly white people will say, okay, I don't have to worry about, am I going to be lynched today? Let me actually read the Bible. Matter of fact, let me read, my master just gave me this Bible, but it's been hand selected the things that he wants me to say. What do I say about that? And so they're fighting to even learn how to read. And so he said for us as black people, we have to learn how to give grace to the black church and be able to walk with ourselves, with black people or black traditional churches to be able to sort through and navigate
Absolutely.
by reading the gospel and really combing that. And we feel like that is what's happening now a lot
Sure.
more. And
Consider this.
yes.
We live in Dallas, Texas. One of the prominent Black churches in Texas, or Dallas, Texas, is Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship.
Yes, sir.
I attended there, got a chance to learn great theology under the great Tony Evans.
Mhm.
But consider this: Tony Evans was the first
Mhm.
African American to get a doctorate from Dallas Theological Seminary, and this was in the 70s.
Yeah.
First 70. I think he was the fourth African American to graduate from there. Period, right? Or during that time.
Mhm.
The second thing is Dr. Evans just wrote a Bible commentary. The first African American Bible commentary in 2019. Consider those things, man. Right? Consider those things. And we have to be interpreters of our culture. And so we are using language not because we don't know the theological term, eschatological, justification. Like, we know those terms, but we're taking those terms and breaking it down into morsels that is right and applicable with the verbiage. Like, one of the persons who is educated beyond doubt is Dr. Eric Mason. But Dr. Eric Mason can rap with the brother on the block, and he can rap with the brothers in the boardroom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, we are bilingual in every aspect of where we are, right? And so those are the things that oftentimes we don't take into account. And then we go to the white church or even the multi-ethnic church thinking, oh man, this is discipleship. No, that is not true. The multi-ethnic church is not the solution to racism. It should be a reflection of the community that God has entrusted to you.
Amen. And that's it. And then one thing that you said is the solution to racism is Christ himself.
Yep.
Not just sitting with somebody that doesn't look like you and then going home and never talking with them again. It is all about the reconciliation that is found through Jesus Christ, dividing down hostility and taking that. However, the Black church is definitely still necessary, because it's in the bowels of the Black church that the civil rights had its cradle.
Absolutely.
You know, it's in the bowel of the Black church that slaves were be able to comfort each other.
Yeah.
It's in these things that if you proclaim Black culture, whatever that is, whatever that might look like, you cannot divorce Black culture in the Black church, because it is the place where we were able to solidify, find, and have meaning and identity.
Absolutely.
And find that in the Bible and hold on to that, no matter what man, organization, master, or whoever tried to take that away. We all had identity within the walls of the church. And so to be able to divorce ourselves from the Black church, or just be able to just say, hey, we don't need you anymore, it's almost like saying to your parents, oh yeah, I'm 18, I don't need you. I don't need you anymore. Even though you may not be dependent on them financially, you may not be dependent on them emotionally. It is the respect that this person, if you had a loving parent that cared and loved for you to be able to completely disown them after they have loved and cared. Even the Bible says what? In the Old Testament, you get stoned to death, you know? But so we need to be able to show appreciation and care for the Black church, while also not letting Blackness or Black tradition supersede the gospel. It is the gospel, and then submitted to the gospel, the Lord allows us to flourish in who he's made us as far as identity of people. No matter what your race, creed, whatever it is, the Lord has made us beautiful. Absolutely. And so the expression of that may come out in different ways.
Yeah, and you become the change that you are seeking in the church that God has called you to.
Yeah.
You know, you become like one of the things I always talk about in the Black church, man, sometimes Black churches don't have the extensive staff that some of our white churches have.
Yeah.
You know, they are everything. The preacher, the marriage counselor, they are cleaning up the building. And then when we ask you to do certain things, I don't got time to do that.
Yeah.
I don't got time to do it. No, you have to become that.
Yeah.
Become the change that God has, that you want to see in your church. The other thing I would say about the Black church that I think oftentimes is misrepresented is that we think that that the black church or even the black church planners have the same afforded opportunity as the white church planners.
Don't talk about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't. Dude, you know how hard it is for us to raise money? You know how hard it is for, they want to know our theology. They want to know this. They want to, like, man, all a white church planner have to do is graduate from seminary. You know, and they willing, right, and they willing to give the keys to the, no, man, like, we in the neighborhoods. We out there hustling. We proclaiming the gospel. And, man, we don't even have enough money for a sound system.
Yeah.
Or enough money for the buildings.
Yeah.
You know, thank God for technology in a lot of ways that we can use things to help, but it's not always the state of the art type stuff, because every time we ask for money for someone to help the universal church, it always comes with an addendum. Yeah. So, man, you got to take these things into consider. To all my brothers and sisters, man, I love you. I done cut this thing off so many times.
Hey, man, like I said, it's raw and uncut, baby. We here.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, so that's what we talk about, man. The black church is necessary. You are necessary. But however, the most important thing and the primary thing of the church is not your blackness, it's Christ himself. And so that is where we uphold to. And so, yeah, we out here. Anything else?
Nope.
Good. So appreciate the question. And yeah, come back for more, man. It's Q&A with Pastor Jerry.
Man.